Hollywood Foundation social pages for more stories of stars on the rise. Sizofunda sonke.
From women's sport to private equity in entertainment, the Prime Media Sport and Entertainment Masterclass brings world-class learning to South Africa. Harvard Business School's Professor Anita Albersa will unpack the New York Liberty's WNBA turnaround, Redbird Capital's bold moves with Paramount and AC Milan, and more. 11th and 12th of August at the Maslow Hotel. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster.
Relebogile is on X at Relebogile M.
Thank you so much for all of your wonderful messages of condolences for our dear colleague Ntateng. I'm going to read a few of them. Tafara says, Relebogile, what shocking news to hear about Ntateng's untimely death. I completely feel you, Relebogile. Ntateng was such a good soul. I knew her way back in the 90s when we were friends at Wits and used to play basketball together. Such a nice person, gone too soon. I cannot believe this. Relebogile, yes indeed, what sad news. May her deeply departed soul rest in eternal peace. Death is no proud. It takes away all those that we love and need in life still. Condolences to you, Aubrey, the entire 702 family, and her blood family and relatives indeed. Joseph from Springs. Dr. Philemon says, regarding Alson Ntateng, thank you for the beautiful tribute. Condolences to all of you. She will be missed. Hi, Relebogile. I could detect right from the start of you talking that something is wrong. I had no idea about this death. I normally listen to Aubrey, Mara mainly after 9 p.m., so I might have missed it last night. What is striking right now, as I listen to you, though, is how well I think I'm speaking for many a listener here, have come to know you like this. Your emotions seem to be real, and I think hence I managed to pick up this raw emotions in your voice as you introduce the lineup for today. Be comforted, D, in the East Rand. I can tell each and every one of you, I show up on this platform as myself. Some days are hard where there is no room for me to be vulnerable, but this is as real as it's going to get. So thank you so much for those messages and for our dearly departed Ntateng. It's 2:00.
This is EWN.
Good afternoon. I'm Bali Dlamini. The remains of former Zambian President Edgar Lungu will be repatriated to Lusaka for burial following a judgment by the Pretoria High Court today. The court ruled in favour of the Zambian government in a legal battle that has been playing out since Lungu's passing in June. The former Zambian head of state passed away in Johannesburg while receiving medical attention. Khomotso Modise reports.
A unanimous judgment was handed down by Gauteng Deputy Judge President Aubrey Ledwaba, which was in favour of the Zambian government to have former President Edgar Lungu's remains buried at the Embassy Park presidential burial site in Lusaka.
It is ordered that the applicant is entitled to repatriate the body of the late President Edgar Lungu, the late President Lungu, for a state funeral and burial thereafter in Embassy Park, Lusaka, Republic of Zambia.
Lungu's family had challenged the Zambian government's application, wanting the former president to be buried in South Africa. This order sparked uncontrollable crying from the former president's sister, Bertha Lungu, who broke out in the court gallery in the Bemba language. The family must now hand over Lungu's body to a state representative in preparation for his burial. Khomotso Modise, Eyewitness News at the Pretoria High Court.
Let's stay in the courts but move to the Eastern Cape now, where a forensic analyst who worked on the Busisiwe mass killing is giving testimony in the trial today. The matter is being heard in the Mthatha High Court, which is sitting in the Busisiwe Magistrates Court. 6 men stand accused of killing 18 people at Ngobozana Village in September last year. The deceased were all gathering for a tombstone unveiling ceremony. Nhlanhla Mabaso is in court.
Today's state witness is a member of the South African Police Service attached to the Eastern Cape Crime Investigation Team and has been working in the unit for 15 of the 21 years. The warrant officer, who cannot be named, was among those called in to investigate the Busisiwe massacre. He is an expert in research, fingerprints analysis, mock trial, advanced crime and DNA recovery. He is testifying about the second crime scene where 4 victims were shot and killed. The Matu homestead is just a kilometer away from the Sinqina homestead where the first group of victims were found. The expert told the court that he recovered 10 spent cartridges of a high-caliber firearm as well as 5 bullet fragments on the scene. Court proceedings are continuing. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Lusikisiki in the Eastern Cape.
Former Umkhonto weSizwe Party Deputy Secretary General Nombuso Mkhize has left the party and joined Floyd Shivambu's Maibuye consultation process. Maibuye says she has been hired as the organization's head of presidency. Mkhize is the latest high-profile departure from the MK party following Shivambu's demotion as the Secretary General. Tabiso Koba has more.
Nombuso Mkhize is a former prison warder at the Escorts Correctional Center, where MK party leader Jacob Zuma was incarcerated for 2 months. The former state's president has previously praised her for the treatment he received during that period, and in turn Mkhize was rewarded with an appointment as the MK party's deputy secretary general, despite her lack of political experience. But she's now left the MK party, joining its former secretary general Floyd Shivambu's new outfits. Spokesperson for Maibuye's consultation process, Sydney Baloyi.
Because of her huge credentials as an organizer, an administrator, and somebody who can give much needed direction and support to the many volunteers who have already signed up for the next chapter of the Maibuye evolution.
Baloyi says Maibuye is still consulting the public on the question, does South Africa need a new political party? Tabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
The boards of more transport state-owned entities could be replaced as government pushes a wider cleanup of failing organizations. The Department of Transport says the removal of the board of the Road Accident Fund was just the beginning, with other entities including PRASA and the Cross-Border Road Transport Agency now under scrutiny. Mongezi Koko is in Pretoria, where Transport Minister Barbara Creecy has been briefing the media on the boards of transport entities.
At the RAF, chronic mismanagement and failure to fulfill its mandate prompted the department to act with an interim accounting authority requested from National Treasury, while a new board is sought. PRASA and other key SOEs are being assessed for similar lapses in leadership and accountability as part of a broader strategy to restore trust. The department says an expert panel will review operations at each entity and recommend turnaround plans later this year. Minister Barbara Creecy.
The interim board will provide strategic direction to the entity, and it will also help ensure financial and governance stability.
The department says the changes form part of a sector-wide strategy to improve service delivery, cut waste and end years of leadership instability. Mongezi Koko, Eyewitness News.
And thousands of people have been evacuated in the north of Los Angeles following a bushfire in a mountainous area. More than 400 fire department personnel have been deployed to contain the blaze. Los Angeles and Ventura counties have placed at least 10 zones under evacuation orders, with more than 2,000 residents displaced. The latest fire has so far burnt more than 4,000 acres and has not yet been contained. Gold is trading at $3,398.89 an ounce. The rand is at 17.73 to the dollar, 23.83 to the pound, 20.63 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $66.43 a barrel.
In Equestria accident scene, and that's in the Pretoria area on Solomon Mahlangu near the N4, causing heavy delays all the way from Stellenberg Road, also in Lenasia, Vlakfontein, heading towards Vereeniging. Expect about a 20-minute delay. N1 south between N12 and the R558, and in Devland, bumper-to-bumper traffic traveling into Eldorado Park on the Golden Highway between the N1 and Union Avenue.
It's a partly cloudy Friday afternoon in Gauteng today. Temperatures have peaked at highs of between 17 and 19 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: the remains of former Zambian President Edgar Lungu will be repatriated to Lusaka for burial following a judgment by the Pretoria High Court.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Gauteng's greatest awards with 702, powered by Yoko. Your favorite local business could be a Gauteng legend. Nominate them now on primemediaplus.com.
You're with Relebogile Mabotja
Live, streaming countrywide
on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
8 minutes after 2 o'clock, the second and final hour of 702 Afternoons with me, Relebogile Mabotja. I'm so looking forward to today's guest on the upside of failure. She is a award-winning, platinum-selling singer, businesswoman, performer, and mama. So looking forward to chatting to her. She goes by the name of Cici, and she will be our guest for today on the upside of failure. So give us a call and comment, ask your questions, 011-883-0702, SMS us 31702, tweet at Relebogile M, at Radio 702 using the hashtag 702 Afternoons, and the WhatsApp line 072-702-1702.
702.
The upside of failure.
Proof that a setback can lead to a step forward.
The upside of failure, together with award-winning, platinum-selling singer, businesswoman, performer. She has acted to, and mama, who goes by the name of Cici. 011-883-0702, the WhatsApp line 072-702-1702. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
I
Thanks
actually
for having me.
just remembered, Jorge, I think I saw you at the awards.
Oh,
Were you at the Friday Night Awards?
yeah.
You were sitting a few rows behind me.
But that's not seeing you.
No,
That's like,
I saw you. You didn't see me, but ke go bone.
oh, as long as you didn't say hello, sweetie.
My friends bao bone. My friends bao bone. How have you been?
I've been amazing. Thank you so much.
I feel like you are so grown.
I am. I'm a grown woman.
Bona. Bona. The last time, that I saw you.
Yeah.
Like properly.
Yeah.
Where you were performing on the Africa Fest stage.
Yes,
And I
yes.
just remember thinking to myself, she's got pipes
Yeah.
on her.
Thank you so
But
much.
also, like, you really are energy on stage as a
Yeah.
performer.
Yeah.
And your career, I think, has evolved so beautifully.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same way, like, when you look back at how far you've journeyed?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if I look back at like what I've done, what I've achieved, how far I've come, and how much has changed also, you know what I mean? And getting onto the driving seat of my career and just watching it bloom and aligning myself with people that share the same vision as me in order for me to become the artist that I want to become and I've always desired to become, is pretty amazing, you know what I mean? And I think it can only be God's doing. So yeah, I'm very impressed, very proud of myself.
When you say the part about getting into the driver's seat
Yeah.
of your career, talk us through maybe that journey of you experienced the part of being in a label and
Yes.
your role is like show up to studio shop for
Yeah,
performances
yeah.
to what it actually means doing
Yeah.
stuff for yourself.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like waking up saying, yeah, you've got an interview here, you've got an interview. Now you have to think, okay, if I'm gonna be releasing an album, this should be my rollout plan, and this is how I want it. This is when we're gonna drop the music video. This is how we're gonna shoot it. This is like what I think I want to see it as, and does it actually relay the story of like you have to think about all of those things. So it is quite a lot and it is overwhelming, but I'm enjoying every process because I feel like at some point I hope that most artists can experience this because it comes with so much growth and so much knowledge, and I've learned so much just doing things on my own and taking what I've learned by being signed in a label and applying it to like being an independent artist and how to go about doing things, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm giving 110% now because like the money's coming to me.
And going from you.
Yes.
You are the one.
It is flowing through me and coming to me.
In terms then of what you decide about your direction, there are many artists, especially female
Yeah.
artists, the worldwide, who feel like when they are in these record deals at the beginning, they are not fully themselves.
Yeah.
They become packaged products
Yeah.
that are there to sell.
Yeah.
And I can see the changes, even the very subtle changes, not just in the sound and not just in how you present yourself, but
Yeah.
also I feel like you've come out of your shell in so
Yeah.
many ways
Yeah.
in what you put out there. Maybe
Yeah.
talk us through what that experience is of being packaged, and understandably the music industry back then is not like what it is right
Yeah.
now. There was no social media.
Yeah.
It was about, this is what's proven to work.
Yeah.
Share what your experience was like.
So I think, I mean, how music is now, you can go as unorthodox as you want to, and not play by the book. And I mean, I remember having a conversation with my label just before I went independent. Was like, how do you see me? Like, because I feel like we
Mm.
are pulling in two different directions. I don't see myself in that way. And they were like, no, we see you as like a Zonke and an Amanda Black. I was like, that is completely like way
Not
up. Yeah, like
you.
I love their music and I consume it a lot, but I don't see myself as that artist. And I feel like we're missing out on an opportunity to manipulate all of the things that I can do as an artist and what I can bring on the table.
And doesn't it suck that you have to be categorized with somebody? So
Yeah.
they'll listen to your sound,
Yeah.
and this is not unique to CC's experience.
Yeah.
It's every artist.
Yeah.
That they will say, "Oh, you are like A," and they'll
Yeah.
pick a person, which I think back in the day it did make sense to say, "Let's look at this formula."
Yeah.
And model
Mm,
around what this
mm,
person did. So
yeah.
I'll use a very easy one.
Yeah.
Britney Spears came out,
Yeah.
and then when it was Battle of the Pop Stars,
Yeah.
it was, okay, Jessica Simpson, you
Yeah.
have to try dance.
Yeah.
Poor girl could not move like Britney,
Oh.
but now you are being pitted in a certain frame, and it becomes so challenging for artists.
Yeah.
For me, even the fact that it was like I would never have said you're like a Zonke.
That's
Like,
why I
at
was like,
all.
wait, what?
Or an Amanda Black.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see that for your genre. I don't see
Yeah.
that for your sound.
Yeah.
I don't even see that for your
Image
on
or-
stage
yeah. Persona.
performances.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why I felt like we were just going in two different directions, and it wasn't what I saw for myself and what I dreamt for myself. I mean, I come from a cabaret background, so for me, it's lights, camera, action, showmanship all the way. And then, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, was a phenomenal evening. You know what I mean? So, I'm very colorful on stage in terms of what I can do. So that's why I felt like, but because in that time I needed somewhere to be, I just said, you know what? I'll bite the bullet. I'll just do it. But it's not how I see myself, and I think I did express that. Look, that's not how I see myself, but I mean, you guys are the recording label, and you probably know what works best. So, in part, I truly let go of a big part of who I am as a performer. Whew.
And how did the project do then?
I mean, I mean, in terms of like music, it's like brilliant. Like, Thing is like one of my biggest songs. Hambana is like one of my
Please,
biggest songs.
what's making you get so emotional? Because even I can see what is the hardest part of this conversation for you.
I think watching a part of yourself die is so hard because it's like, I don't even recognize this artist. This is not like the dream that I had for myself. And so to feel like you don't even want to wake up in the morning, because for me, I'm like a true, authentic artist. Like, I want to remain true to myself. And so when I see that, and I see just like, I felt like I did kind of waste so much time, and so it's almost like when you had to mourn a part of yourself. Yeah. So I mean, I think that's why it's just like a bit emotional for me. But I mean, I think it's also just all good tears, you know what I mean? To like be proud of like where I was and where I am right now and the things that I'm achieving, and I'm not saying everything then was all bad. There's a lot that came with it. I mean, I didn't know how to write in my own language. Like, I had to think hard. But like, when I got to that recording label, they were like, no, you gotta learn to like write songs in like your own language that people can relate to, that your tribe can relate to, that South Africans can relate to. So I did learn a lot, and now I'm able to go in and out of like English and Zulu and make it sound seamless and not like, oh, it's a foreign language,
Yes.
or this is Zulu, this is so yeah, I think that's really just the part that got me emotional, is that I kind of had to bury that part of me that I felt could have made me an even greater artist, but I always know that it was for a purpose, and I always try and take the lessons out of the things um that I experienced as like an artist and a growing artist. So yeah.
I think many women in particular
Mm.
will be able to relate, because we understand the concept of needing to keep quiet for the sake of peace,
Mhm.
whatever space you're in,
Yep.
be it private life,
Yeah.
professional life.
Yeah.
And I've found myself in those situations
Mhm.
where the hurt comes from feeling disappointed in self, that
Yeah.
you didn't assert yourself
Yep.
enough, or like maybe you're like, well, I guess if that's how the world sees me, that's all I'll ever be, whatever
Yeah.
that picture
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
I've had many moments reflecting as well, where you're like, I say this to my sister, like, what am I doing with my life? And people on the outside are like, what are you talking
What do you
about?
mean?
Yes.
It's so great. Like, I would kill to have
You know what
your
I mean?
life for one day.
But sometimes there might be a disconnect
Yeah.
with certain things.
Yeah.
And when I became more intentional about
Yeah.
who I am, the work followed. And it's
Yeah.
scary, because you'll also think, okay, if I do me, I won't have bread. You know?
Yeah,
Is that
yes.
kind of like
Yeah, it
resonate
is.
for you?
Yeah, it definitely does. Where you feel like, am I making the right decision, or should I just stick to it? And it is what it is. But I just feel like I didn't come here just to do the bare minimum, just to do what people like. And I think I had to tap into the reasons why I got into the music. And when I did run away, and there was like people that were in the industry, they told me, oh no, honey, like the song is phenomenal, but it will never work.
Really?
Yeah, they were like, it will never work. Not in this industry. R&B has proven to fail, period. And I was like, you know what? I believe in the song. I believe that, it's time for us to move the needle and to show South Africa that we are capable of more than just, what they consume on radio and on TV. And it was like an experimental thing, and I always say that I will never allow other people's failures to become my own. So it's like, just because it didn't work for someone else doesn't mean it's not going to work for me. You know what I mean? So it's not a matter of what is done, but it's who does it and how they do it. And to date, like literally, that is still my biggest song. Hamba Naye by Mafiki Zolo, my boss was like, I don't know. He was, Begabamba yeka ngathi, you know what? Let me go shoot the artwork. Let me go, let me call Mafiki Zolo. Let me pay for everything. Let me just do it. And I was like, I believe in the song. It's still the biggest song.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think it's also important as artists to believe in your craft, to know what you bring on the table. And I think social media has completely changed the power dynamics also with like recording labels and artists. So yeah.
I also don't want to run away from the reality that, at some point in your career, there was an enmeshment with your personal life.
Yeah.
And I cannot even begin to imagine what kind of a time you had to deal with.
Yeah.
And there are many horror stories in our industry, particularly for women. And for everybody who's wondering what I'm referring to, I mean, the many headlines were out there, particularly with your record label owner. Where are you in your healing journey from that entire experience, especially around the abuse?
Yeah.
Especially around what it came with, because I almost feel like there's the trauma of the acts that you experienced, then a new trauma of speaking out about it when the person is also a public figure, and then the people that have their 10 million things to say.
Yeah. I mean, I think obviously when it was all happening, it just felt like I wanted the earth to open up, and I just, I ran away. But I'm thankful for that experience, because I don't think that I would be the woman that I am right now, and that I will be able to appreciate true love when it comes my way. So, in as much as it might have felt like a destructive time, that's how diamonds are shaped. You know what I mean? And I think I'm much stronger now than I was before. And I learned to become more assertive and be more sure of who I am and what I want and what I don't want in my life, and the environment, because I'm a family person, and the environment I want to raise my kids in. And I mean, I had seen abuse with like a family member, and I knew for sure. I said it every day. I said, this is not, I hope my kids never get to experience this. So the decision wasn't even about me, but it was like the future that I was preparing for myself and for my children, and that I needed to be a psychologically, emotionally fit mother in order to mother my children. And I didn't want to bleed onto my kids, and I didn't want them to be robbed of like childhood or a phenomenal mother. So all of those things for me were really important. I was very sure of the person that I wanted to be, the artist I wanted to be, how I wanted to be remembered as Cici. And sometimes I feel like people visit my past more often than I do, because they'll be like, oh, you need to learn to heal, get over it. And then like, it's like, oh, I'm over it. I'm married. I've got a husband. They're like, yeah, but you remember? You're like, no. You know what I
get
mean?
you. I
Yeah.
get
So
you.
so for me, it's like I never want that. I've never wanted that period to overshadow who I am as a human being, as somebody's wife, as a mother, as a sister, as a child, a daughter. And so for me, it's really important that women don't let certain things and experiences define who they are, but rather they shape the woman that they become in the future.
And I'm so glad that you were saying that, because I was literally about to say to you, what message would you share
Yeah.
with women who might be struggling silently?
Yeah.
Maybe they are out of the situation,
Yeah.
but they are desperate to go back.
Yeah.
Maybe they are out of it, but struggling through their healing journey, because rightfully so, as you
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
you will sit down and people will think about it.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to show us your healing journey the
Yeah.
way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the real work is ugly and doesn't have a
Yeah.
camera in front of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
The part where you've healed and moved on,
Yeah.
we're seeing the after, but we didn't see the process.
The process, yeah.
What would you share with all those ladies, especially because, I mean, I heard someone saying, did you know that when it's Women's Month in South Africa, that the statistics for gender-based violence go up?
Yeah.
And I'm like...
And it's crazy because now the scourge has overshadowed what Women's Day really means and why we celebrate Women's Day as women. You know what I mean? It's like it's heartbreaking to see, to hear. I mean, like every day when you scroll on social media, I scrolled on social media today and there was a father who raped his 4-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how did we even come to this point? And there was something I read. It said this spiritual war is going to be against women and children because they are the spiritual anchors of homes. And so I think it's so important for us to ground ourselves in whatever spiritual practice that you do, that we pray for this season, because it's not just a thing that's happening. It is an intentional spiritual war against women and children. That's why you will always find ukuthi kunelanga lo mama. Oh mama imona bathandazayo. They are the women that pray. They are the ones that build their homes. And I would really, want us to celebrate Women's Day because of the women that fought for the liberty. And their contribution into society, rather than to it becoming a one day of activism against the abuse of women and children.
Which is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because the reality is, it is faced on the daily. by the victims of
Absolutely.
it. What was for you the method of healing that you use? Some people do therapy, some people go do an ayahuasca,
Yeah.
some people turn to God,
Yeah.
they pray, they fast.
Yeah.
What are the things and the practices that helped you?
Praying, fasting. But also I read a book by Jan van Zandt, and it's called Get Over It.
Yeah.
It says sometimes the places where you are stuck emotionally is not because you haven't accepted what has gone, but it's like you are okay with mothering that situation and putting it on a pedestal. And she says that you've got to give yourself tough love. So get over it. It's like, just get over it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, it sounds insensitive, but it's like, don't dwell in that when there's so much more that you can achieve beyond your experiences.
I think it also comes back though to what you said, like that experience does not make you who you are as a
Absolutely.
person
Yeah.
outside of all of that.
Yeah.
So you said you asked your record label to come back and you said, how do you see me? How do you see you?
I see myself as a global act. I don't see myself as just a South African artist. And I think if you look at my album, that's why I've intentionally worked with artists from Tanzania, Nigeria, South Africa. So I'm trying to tap into a more global market rather than just being a South African artist, you know what I mean? And showing the world the versatility of talent that is in South Africa and what they can do and what they can achieve. So that's how I see myself, you know. I see myself as a great artist all round.
So when we come back, what I'm going to ask you is, of everything that you said,
Mm.
how do you tie your spirituality to pour into that cup?
Yeah.
Especially, as you said, being a woman, being a mother. And I think when you know you're pregnant, when you feel life move
Yeah.
inside you,
Yeah.
when you deliver
Yeah.
and see, there is that switch
Yeah.
that goes off, and we don't connect it enough to the work that we do.
Yeah.
And how it can either destroy it or build it. So we're going to go to the news. We come back to the upside of failure with Cici. Time for your latest Eyewitness News headlines. Good afternoon.
Thanks, Relebogile. Good afternoon. Action SA is reconsidering its participation in the national dialogue following the withdrawal of key foundations and public frustration over the facilitation of the event. The party says it cannot support a platform that risks becoming a government-directed exercise without meaningful reforms. In a statement released this morning, some foundations, including those of former Presidents Thabo Mbeki and Kgalema Motlanthe, cited a rushed process. The Busisiwe mass murder trial has been adjourned and will continue on Monday. The state completed leading evidence from a forensic analyst who specializes in DNA recovery and fingerprints today. 6 men stand accused of the brutal murder of 18 people who were killed in Gobozana village in September last year. And Patriotic Alliance member Liam Jacobs has been sworn in as a councillor in the Johannesburg City Council. The 24-year-old replaces the party's suspended deputy leader, Kenny Kunene, who resigned as a councillor and was recalled as Transport MMC last month. Those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 3 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
City of Thwala, accident scene on Solomon Mahlangu near the N4 causing heavy delays all the way from Stellenbosch Road. Also in the Lenasia area, you can still expect about a 20-minute delay. This is on the N1 southbound heading towards Vereeniging. Between the N12 and the R558. Devlin traveling into Eldorado Park. Bumper-to-bumper traffic on the Golden Highway between the N1 and Union Avenue. There's also slow-moving traffic. This is in the Benoni area, Atlas Road, approaching the N12. And look out for those faulty traffic lights in Randburg at Malibongo Drive and Mahogany. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings.
8 to midnight.
This is a special broadcast as we pay tribute to Osin Tating, the executive producer of the Aubrey Masango show, and I'm moved and touched by the listeners, people who have not met her personally, but through this show have met her spirit. You know, what is on your mind, my brother?
I never met Osin Tating, but judging from the way she responded on the call, the communication, the harmony, she knew what she was doing.
Hi, Mapula.
She was the most respecting and respectful. What a loss.
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702.
Step inside the business of sport and entertainment with Harvard Business School's Professor Anita Albersa at the Prime Media Sport and Entertainment Masterclass. Explore Netflix's rise in the streaming wars, the billion-dollar world of Grand Theft Auto 4, and the strategies of global sport leaders. 11 and 12 August at the Maslow Hotel, Sandton. Book your seat now at Ticketmaster.
Do not be fooled. Smoking kills. Across the globe, more than 8 million people die of tobacco-related diseases every year. During the broadcast of this radio advert, which is only 60 seconds, 16 people would have died from tobacco. Quit smoking and vaping. If you cannot resist this lethal habit, please protect non-smokers and children. Do not smoke or vape in public places or near children. Inhaling any tobacco product, whether through smoking or vaping, can cause cancer, birth defects, heart, lung, and oral diseases. All tobacco and related products are harmful to your health. This message is brought to you by the National Department of Health.
It all starts with advice from FNB Private. Because the perfect overseas trip starts with planning. Save and spend in multiple currencies with your FNB Global account and lock in exchange rates. Enjoy up to 40% off flights with eBucks Travel. And order Forex on the FNB app delivered to you at no extra cost. Your adventure awaits. Unlock invaluable with FNB Private. Help changes everything. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider. TC's own rules and limits apply.
James, congrats on the babies.
Yeah, thanks. It's a wild ride.
You're a new dad, 2 babies, 0 sleep, and 1 car that apparently couldn't cope.
Yeah, the hatchback was my baby, but it just didn't have enough space for my 2 new babies.
And are you happy with the price when you sold to We Buy Cars?
Very. We've even got some extra cash to splurge on one of those fancy prams that you basically need a license for.
Good luck, James. We Buy Cars. Geared for family, geared for you.
Hey, honey, look. Went to the shops, like you asked, and it was the Deco Fern birthday sale. Picked up this amazing 3-seater sofa for only $5,599. And this coffee table, just $489. Oh, and this gorgeous standing mirror for like $699.
Wow, I just asked you to get some milk.
Get deals worth celebrating at Deco Furniture's epic birthday sale with 10 to 40% and more of everything in-store or online now at decofurnsa.co.za.
Every Thursday on 702 Breakfast, Old Mutual Corporate tackles the tough questions around South Africa's retirement crisis and how to change the future we're heading toward within the world of work.
So last year, you recall, we were on the cusp of the two-pot system, and there was a lot of buzz in the industry around how that's going to happen. We're a year down the line now, and this year's forum is really about driving more collaboration between employers, industry, and policymakers to turn these insights that we started to get from the two-pot, or even the data we had before, into how do we change this retirement crisis that we have in South Africa. So we're really spotlighting the sustainable solutions that can be used.
The Old Mutual Thought Leaders Forum, Thursdays between 6 and 9 a.m. Brought to you by Old Mutual Corporate on 702. Coming up
on 702 Drive with John Perlman.
702 Drive is coming up from 3 to 6 p.m. John, happy Friday. How are you doing?
Doing very, very, very well. Thank you. And you, happy Friday to you and the rest of the listeners.
Thank you so much. What's coming up on your show today?
So Friday it is, so we'll be doing our weekly feature, which we call A Song, a Book and a Dish. We get to know somebody well-known a little bit better, asking them to pick an inspiring book, choose some music to end off the feature, and in the middle, tell us a little bit about food, favorite dishes, yes, but also memories of meals shared with family and friends. Our guest today, former Statistician General Padi Lehutla. He was a very, very colorful character. I don't know if people recall there was a time when he was always seen in a bright yellow suit, as part of his way of getting people to take part in the census. He's with us at about 20 to 6. Randall's One Song, another of our Friday regulars, will be doing that as well. And then the national dialogue, an issue around that now where a number of foundations are saying, listen, this is being done too quickly. It's not being done in the right way. They're pulling out. It's an important story, and we'll talk about it after 5 o'clock. There's been some pushback against the service Truecaller. We'll find out what the complainants are saying and what the likely blowback might be. And we, of course, look forward to our listeners calling in with whatever is on their minds.
Thank you so much, John Pullman, hosting 702 Drive from 3 to 6 p.m.
702.
The upside of failure.
Proof that a setback can lead to a step forward.
The upside of failure at 22 minutes to 3 o'clock. And we continue our conversation with Cici, songstress, performer, and now independent artist, as well as a mom. Your calls with your questions and comments on 011 883 0702 and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702. In terms of the connection between you being the spiritual being, you being a bringer and carrier of life, and what it has done for you, I felt like after I gave birth, I was worried that I wouldn't have time to do the things that I wanted to.
Yeah.
But it built my capacity
Yeah.
to be able to say no, choose the right projects, and all of
Yes.
those things. What is the connection for you since becoming a mom?
I think I'm more aggressive in the pursuit of a dream because I know there's a little one watching me, and to show them that sometimes in the pursuit of something, it's not always going to go your way. But you've got to be relentless in like going for your goals and what you want to do and what you believe in. And so I can't advise him about things that I'm not doing.
Yes.
You know, and I think children learn best when they see it rather than when they hear it. So if they've seen the relentlessness, that's where I make the connection with like being a mom, and just being aggressive and fighting for the dream. And when it comes to my spirituality, I think it's evident in my songs. If you listen to like my brand new album, I speak about God a lot, and I think I'm less. Oh, speaking about God is not really that cool. This is the only thing that's gotten me through anything, and so putting it in a song for me is like the best way to speak about anything, without like being overbearing and making people feel uncomfortable about certain conversations. So yeah.
I think about your motherhood having been miraculous.
Yeah.
And I can totally relate. It's
Yeah.
so scary.
Yeah.
But share with us just in terms of the challenges you faced and how you were able to carry through.
Yeah.
We know many women have fertility issues.
Yeah.
Many women are so desperate
Yeah.
to carry and give birth,
Yeah.
not just have a child that looks like them, but to go
Yeah.
through
The
the
whole
journey.
Yeah.
How did it happen for you? Because it at some point seemed impossible.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm not really feeling well. I'm tired. I'm nauseous all the time. In my head, I'm not thinking baby because I was like, there's no way. I cannot dispute what the doctors have said.
Just give us context for everybody who doesn't know that part of your story. What did the doctor say?
So after my accident, the doctor told me that I will never be able to conceive again because of how and where the injury happened. It was a difficult thing to accept because I felt like I was robbed of the choice, because at least give me the choice to say, you know what, I don't want to be a mother, but when that choice is taken away from you, it's pretty difficult to accept it. So they told me, yeah, you're not gonna be able to conceive. And then Chigi, the doctor's like, well, congratulations, because you've got a little man growing. I was like, no, doc.
It's not possible.
Yeah, I think it must just be blood clots just messing around there. My prayers are coming sometime soon. And he was like, nope, yep, you are definitely having a baby. And I think it was like exciting, but it was like scary. And because I started asking questions like, is it going to be a normal pregnancy, and am I going to be able to carry it right through to the 9 months? So yeah, I mean, it came with a lot of joy, but obviously like a lot of like, I was scared most of the time, you know what I mean? Because then I was like, what if this is literally the one and only child? Now you start thinking of those things. It's like, I don't want to mess this up, God has given me this opportunity, so I gotta do it right. So it was a difficult pregnancy, because obviously the baby sits on these bones, and obviously if one of the bones is hurt, then it becomes difficult to carry. And so yeah, I was just like, I feel like God planned my pregnancy, because then it was lockdown. We were not going anywhere. So I didn't need to be anywhere unless I was going for checkups, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I couldn't really move much. I had to be like seated. But it was a great my birth story is just hectic. It was a difficult but good pregnancy.
What would you share with all the women who do give up hope?
Yeah.
Because that really is miraculous.
Yeah.
And we do know, not to say don't listen to your doctors,
Yeah.
but the doctors don't know everything
Yeah.
and might not get it all right.
Yeah.
Like when you heard the heartbeat, like what was going through your head?
I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, there's no way. I was like, there is no way I'm being given the opportunity to be a mom. Like, because I'd completely, and my mom would say, "Mntana ma awuzame phela usibone ukuthi ngempela
Is it true?
ngempela
Just try.
awuzame Nkosi yami isibone ukuthi angeke samthola umzukulu
Eish.
uNkulunkulu usebenza emfihlakaleni, just try." Eish, yabo nje, now you don't want to hurt your parents, because obviously it hurts them, because now they've also lost on an opportunity. And I think I hid it for like 3 months, because I just wanted to get over the first trimester and know that definitely for sure it is happening. And when I told them, like, my mom just prayed and she started crying. So it was like a beautiful moment for the whole family.
What message would you give to mothers, especially going through difficult pregnancies, especially those not getting the best of news?
Yeah. Look, I think in as much as we are all women and we are capable of bearing, the journeys to getting to being a mother and being afforded that opportunity are completely different. So if you are going through a difficult time, don't be discouraged. Keep trying, keep taking your doctor's advice, and be hopeful. And I think someone told me that, oh, if you can't, you can just adopt. And I'm like, it's not the same feeling. You know what I mean? So I really do hope and pray that if you are going through infertility, that some miraculous thing does happen, but ungalilahli ithemba nokuthi ungamkhohlwa uNkulunkulu.
All right. Yo, it's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
It is a lot. We need to take a break. Kazozo, I see you. Will be coming to you shortly.
702 delivers
on the matters that matter to you.
My name is Orina, and what I love about 702 is the Clement Banyatela show. I didn't think that I would see Clement today.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
so we can deliver more on what matters to you.
702 listens.
Let's walk the talk.
Celebrate Women's Month in style with Hollywood Bets and Spinner Zonke. Take fearless shots at fantastic fortunes with our special selection of fierce female-themed games. Kick back, relax, and entertain yourself with the ultimate slot escape. Let Heart of Rio put you in a carnival mood. Indulge in anime fantasy with Nine Tails, or embark on fire-breathing adventures in Dragon Kingdom. Supercharge your slots and bet now. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008. At the heart of global conversations shaping our future, Africa's voice is more important than ever. As proud lead sponsor of the B20, the Standard Bank Group is honored to showcase the continent's growth, partnerships, and potential on the world stage. Because driving Africa's growth isn't just our ambition, it's our purpose. Tune in every Monday from 3 p.m. for the Standard Bank B20 in brief for key insights and updates around the B20. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Welcome to Nando's Customer Care. How can I fire up your...
Finally, can I actually just speak to the manager? It's about the chicken. Why did you marinate it for 24 hours? 24 hours, 86,400 seconds to marinate. Why?
Well, I mean, it is really tender, juicy, and that delicious Nando's peri-peri flavor just warms me up. And then you add any 3 sharing sides, and I guess, well, there is nothing like it. But that is my complaint. I can't complain.
Nando's, fire it up.
Choices. We love them. Like a Jator dealer asking you, so which one do you like? And you're like, do you like the bold, stylish, head-turning dashing from 4,999 per month? Or the adventurous 7-seater X70 Plus from 5,199 per month? Both. Because yes, choices. Book your test drive at Jator.coza and make an excellent choice either way. T's and C's apply. Jator. Drive your future. Every business begins with heart, but it thrives with support. And no one backs Gauteng's dreamers and doers like 702, Yoko, and you. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko are back to recognize and celebrate the local entrepreneurs making life better. From your favorite coffee spot to the baker who knows your name, from the salon that raised generations to the bold newcomer raising the bar. Just think of the business that made you feel seen. Now's your chance to say, I see you. I see you. Go to primemediaplus.com to view the categories and make your nomination. Because this province isn't just the hub of business, it's the home of excellence. And excellence deserves your applause. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702, powered by Yoko. Let Yoko Counter fuel your business to greatness. Go to yoko.com to explore the new point of sale solution, saving hundreds of businesses time and money.
702.
The upside of failure.
Proof that a setback can lead to a step forward.
The upside of failure, we are chatting to Cici, singer, performer, global star, I shall say, international actor. Make sure you check out her new music. 011-883-0702. The WhatsApp line 072-702-1702. Kazozo in Newcastle, go ahead.
Just turn the baby. No matter what fanele. Nyama ndiyaswela. Kodwa tuma njengezulu. Ninjani kodwa mama?
Ngiyaphila bhuti. Noma betha wongifanele. Pointa vakavanileyo. Uyaphila mkhaya.
That's my favorite song. Angiyaphila mkhaya man. No mkhaya bengithi nje ngidlulise nje ukusho ukuthi ka nomsebenzi wakho omusha siyayiqhenya ngawo.
Erike translate. He's saying, I want to congratulate Cici on her amazing new music. That it is, we are excited and proud of you. Warekhansa. Kingaskwa warekhansa. Ware Chinese. Yes, sir.
Ngicela mona umzulu. Ngicela mona umzulu.
Ngithaba amazulu, ngithaba amazulu.
Mazulu ekibana bangempela, bangempela.
I love hearing Zulu people try to speak Sotho Listswana.
Bangempela lapho.
No, but Cici, I'm really ingoma yakho ngithanda kakhulu in this new project of yours, the one that you work with Luvo.
Zuko.
Zuko, yes, Zuko. The one that you work that you did with Zuko. And nalena reference no makitazi nkuleko.
Yes.
Yeah, and then nale engibonayo ukuthi hayi is taking over le ethi le yakho naledi. Not the amen one. Not the amen one. Yeah, konakele. Yes, konakele.
Yes.
Now let's awindawo. I like this one. Let's awindawo. Yo, I like it. Awindawo ngudlala every
This is
moment.
a true fan.
Yeah,
This is a true
yes.
follower. Thank you so much, Kazozo. Cici, how does it feel having new fans and old fans that stuck with you on your musical journey to where it is today?
I think it feels really good because it's a great sign of longevity. You know what I mean? Where it's not just like, we used to listen to this girl, but now, and the 2Ks are not interested. And what I realized with working with Naledi is that I've actually got a lot of young fans who have looked up to me, who listened to Ndidine. And I'm like, what are you guys feeling? Because you're so young. And it's like, it doesn't even have to be something that you have gone through, but it's like in your delivery, it's so emotive. And so a lot of people resonates with my music in that way.
I am so curious about how the little ones are vurvaing you at home.
Which ones?
The little ones, they will vurvai. We were just talking off Cici and I about our school fees and how expensive they are for just like crash. But they also, because we're the generation that wants our children to speak back and speak up.
Yes.
And Shem, the grandparents are having a very hard time.
Because the grandparents would say, young Pendola, you're back chatting me.
Yes.
And then you're quiet. They're like, you're quiet now. Now you can't speak. Yeah? So it's just like.
And when you get your hiding, don't cry.
Yeah.
Do not scala.
But then,
but when you don't cry.
They're like,
okay.
We need to just upgrade the beating.
You know that Woolworth sleeper that had the shiny pot underneath with the
I don't know, for some reason my mom's slipper was able to turn a corner.
What do you mean?
Like she used to count to 3. She said 1, 2. By the time you turn the corner, the slipper is following you on the back. You're like, yes.
Listen, the expertise. And it's so funny now that we have TikTok. I've seen the Jamaican moms that the kid is running and the woman just aims correctly.
Yes, it lands. I'm like, how do y'all do that?
So, I mean, obviously we're not in that era anymore.
Yes.
What are the methods that you have found that help with getting to know your kids and having them be open with you?
Yeah. Talking to them and say, listen, Diallo, you did 1, 2, 3, and mommy doesn't appreciate that. So if you want something, you don't scream, you don't yell, you don't throw tantrums. You come to mommy, you say, mommy, and you use the magic word, can I please have 1, 2, 3? And sometimes you're not going to get what you want. Then he says, okay, mommy. But I felt like what made us so afraid to also speak up, this thing affected us right through to our adulthood, because you're afraid to just speak up for yourself and approach people and saying, hi, this is what I want. It's like a simple task like saying, Cici, ask her to give you this. You know what I mean? Because it was always a thing of Sugalapo, don't do this.
Yes.
Don't, you know what I mean? So it's
we went free.
Yes.
We went free.
Yes.
You don't believe in failures, you believe in life lessons.
It's true.
Share with us your biggest life lesson that you can share with everybody.
Don't let people who aren't going anywhere take you with them. Yeah. I actually saw a dad. He was teaching. It was a teachable moment for his daughter. He said, stand on that chair. Can you see how high you are? If I pull you down, it's easier for me to do that. But if you have to pull me up, can you see how difficult that is?
Yes.
And he said, don't let people do that to you in life. Don't go down to their level, because it's easier for them to do that than for them to be where you are.
Biggest lesson on failure, Nje.
There's always a lesson to be learned all the time. Like, no matter how terrible, that situation might have been, there's always a lesson, and always take the lessons, because I realize also, if it almost like it infests you psychologically, emotionally, if you hang on to the things that hurt you, you've got to allow them to be moments of, okay, I did this. However, I've learned from this moment, and this is what I can take from it.
Cici, I love you.
I love you
Your
more.
flowers. Thank you for coming. I so appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's the final days of the Dial-A-Bed annual super sale with up to 33% off. Don't miss out on SA's best bed deals. The Sealy Celebration Queen Set is now only $8,999 and the 40 Winks Active Zone Queen Set is reduced to $11,999. Plus, get next day delivery on our best sellers. Dial-A-Bed. Sleep for life.
The National Lottery keeps creating big winners. One lucky Powerball winner scooped the jaw-dropping jackpot of over 124 million rand on Tuesday after playing through their banking platform. Play any National Lottery game and stand a chance to win life-changing jackpots. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529# for USSD. Panda, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old to play responsibly. eTuba is a proud operator of the National Lottery.
If you want to know about the heart and art of jazz, look no further than the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz Festival, a grand ensemble of over 50 world-class acts across 4 stages for 3 whole days. That's right, from the 26th, 27th and 28th of September. The Santon Convention Center will be demure and sophisticated as the fine Standard Bank Joy of Jazz 2025 takes you deep into the heart, the art and splendor of jazz. Take me there. Book your seat via Ticketmaster now.
To walk the talk is to turn words into meaningful actions. And it's what we at 702 are committed to doing every day. We are also committed to following the rules set out by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission's Code of Conduct. To give you balanced programming, fair comments, and accurate news. But if we stumble along the way and you feel we are not living up to the code, let us know on comment@702.co.za. And if after that you're still not happy, you can direct your complaint in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission. Email bccsa@nabsa.co.za. For more, visit bccsa.co.za.
Relebogile is on X @Relebogile M.
I want to read a message. Lebo, afternoon to you about Ntadeng. I have never met her in person, but I've interacted with her over the phone for a couple of years, especially on the Aubrey show. And prior to that, it's like I have lost my big sister all over again. I had just buried my older sister and it's her now. When I called in at the show a couple of minutes, just me and her talking, and what we're talking about was not even related to what was happening on the show. I've never cried for someone that I've never met in my life, only through the phone. My deepest and most sincerest condolences to you. And to everybody who got an opportunity to meet her and speak to her, you are so blessed. We absolutely will love you forever, Ntadeng. We will never forget you. May your soul rest in power. It's 3:00.
This is EWN.
Opposition parties consider pulling out of the national dialogue, and the Zambian government welcomes Lungu's burial court judgment. Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. Action SA is reconsidering its participation in the national dialogue following the withdrawal of key foundations from the event. In a statement released this morning, foundations including those of former Presidents Thabo Mbeki and Kgalema Motlanthe cited a rushed process and the absence of an approved budget as some of their reasons for pulling out. Action SA now says it cannot support a platform which risks becoming a government-directed exercise without meaningful reforms. Mongezi Gogo reports.
The foundations say the dialogue, initially intended as a citizen-driven initiative, has shifted towards government control, undermining its credibility and impact. Now Action SA says the process risks becoming a mere window-dressing exercise, more about appearances than delivering real change. The party urges an evaluation to determine whether the national dialogue can truly deliver meaningful reforms or if it's simply a government-led platform to create an illusion of engagement. Mongezi Gogo, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg.
We shift now to news just in. The Busisiwe party has terminated the membership of its former Secretary General Floyd Shibamvu. The party says Shibamvu's recent public statements on the organization means he has defined himself outside of the party. Shibamvu was demoted as the party's Secretary General in June. He later started his own organization, the Maibuye consultation process, saying he no longer believed in the MK party as a vehicle for black people's liberation. Shibamvu also called the MK party a family affair and accused its leader, former President Jacob Zuma, of being senile. At a media briefing today, MK party national chairperson Nathi Nhleko says Shibamvu is no longer aligned with the ideas of the organization.
But also seriously violated the trust placed on them as a member of the party. In this regard, the decision has been taken to summarily terminate the membership of the former Secretary General, and a formal letter of expulsion was transmitted to him on the 15th of July 2025. Busisiwe will not entertain any further exchanges on this particular matter.
To the courts now, the Zambian government says today's judgment in its favor by the Pretoria High Court is sound and makes good sense. Gauteng Deputy Judge President Aubrey Ledwaba handed down an order that the country's former President Edgar Lungu's remains be repatriated for burial in Lusaka. It follows a 2-month court battle with the family, which insisted to lay him to rest in South Africa amid a feud with the current president of Zambia, Hakainde Hichilema. The order sparked loud cries from Lungu's sister Bertha, who sat in the court gallery today. Speaking to the media, Zambia's state attorney Mulilo